Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today there is a special announcement because Feinberg is doing another Minecraft event invitational, this time with Pandora's Box, bringing to you, I think the event's called Pandora's Box Last Dance. I'm going to play the video with the audio muted just now so you can see exactly what's up with it. This is the trailer that was posted on Twitter by Feinberg, and this is a pretty hype event, man. This is probably the most competitive Minecraft event we'll have seen, at least in the minigame, like, normal format. I saw some people argue that, like, what's it called? Funny Wars is more competitive. Who cares? This is, like, the most competitive, or at least high skill level Minecraft minigames event, which is the popular format that we'll have seen to date. And, there's a lot of really good players in this. The 8 people that were just shown and that are being shown in the clips right now are team captains, and the way it works is they were invited by Feinberg as what to him seems like the 8 best event players, including himself, of course, to participate in this event, and they were allowed to draft any teammate they wanted in a, like, I think it's a reverse snake draft. I don't really know exactly how they did it, but they essentially all drafted one by one players from not a pool, but just anyone that they could ask for, and until they had all teams of 4, of course, and those teams have now been announced. We'll get to those in a little bit as well. But yeah, you see here some fun little clips of all these good players. I'm sure you're very familiar with them. I think it includes like Feinberg, Shane, Sandwich Lord, Toph, Cal, of course. Fruit was in there as well. Soul and Kalen, I think, are the 8. So that's the trailer that was just shown there. And here's the little explanation. To make this event as competitive as possible, Feinberg invited who he believes are the 8 best Minecraft event players to serve as captains for their teams. They then ran a modified snake draft to fill out the teams with no restriction on player selection. So, like mentioned, this means that these 8 players just essentially had free ball game. They could pick anyone they wanted, and the results will show. There are some pretty interesting inclusions in this event, I think, but overall this makes sense from the perspective of who has been selected to play in this event, or at least who the captains were to be selected for this event. I think the resulting roster adds up. One more thing is that the games have been already announced. This was done halfway through the team announcements. One thing to note is that there is our 20 new exclusive Jumping Mad 2 levels, which have never been seen before, custom made for this event, which, of course, considering Jumping Mad 2 is in, makes sense. My dumbass somehow thought this had 4 PvP games. It actually has 3, because for some reason I thought Trials of Fire was a PvP game, even though I very much know it's not. I just, first instinct was like, oh, it has fire and whatever, that's PvP, but it's not. But you have Chalice Chase, Hyperdriving, Jumping Mad as movement games, of course, round robin movement game, Elytra only movement game. This is going to be insanely competitive, especially if there are no new hyperdrive levels. This game is going to be horrifying. And then Jumping Mad 2, like mentioned, with a bunch of new levels. You have 3 PvP games with Temple Lockout, Miner Mania, and survival games. I saw some people say, yeah, it's literally right here, Miner Mania over Sky High. Are you stupid? Miner Mania is way better. Like, hello. But Temple Lockout, of course, is PB's often considered best game, which makes sense. It's a pretty good game, I would say. It's kind of inarguable that it's a pretty well-made game, especially for the event it's in, of course. And yeah, this one, of course, you know what Temple Lockout is if you watch PB, probably. I don't have to explain it. Survival games is SG, 2 rounds with Gulag. Should be interesting to see if people play aggressively here, because usually what you can do in a PB is you can try to pick people off because they're bad, but, like, that's not really a thing in an event with, you know, 32 of the best Minecraft event players altogether. I'm not going to say 32, the 32 best, because it's not, but 32 of the best, no, most certainly. And then Miner Mania, of course, another round-robin game. Very, very well-designed game. I think often, I don't really understand why people don't think this game is better than Sky High. It just has way more depth than Sky High. Sky High is just Sky Wars. but like slightly less good. And then you have Minor Mania, which is like a round robin with a really solid secondary gimmick that actually just determines the entire game. So I don't know. Gauntlet 2 is their party game, of course. Curious to see which Gauntlet 2 games will be in. And Trials of Fire, of course, being the teamwork-related game. This one I actually think is the most exciting. Maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like this is going to be way more interesting, seeing like 4 really good Minecraft players all together in this like puzzle-solving game, essentially, right? Either way, those are the games for this event. 8 games, so they're all going to be played, of course, which is going to be interesting. And then it's on to the teams. I had this tab open on the right or on the wrong way. Either way, here you see the team announcements are of course as follows. So red team is Soul TB, FaZe Ray, Brinks, and Jackass. I don't know if this is accurate, but I want to say this is in draft order, maybe. Which I assume Soul would have been the first person to draft overall, and then FaZe would have been the first drafted player overall, and then Brinks would have been Soul's second pick, and then Jack would have been Soul's last pick. I assume. I don't know if that's correct, but I think so. So yeah, should be interesting. I don't know if anyone on this team has played PB before. Maybe FaZe is in the, what's it called? The Genesis, but I don't think anyone else is. I could be wrong, but so a bunch of new people, should be interesting. I do think with the amount of experience lacking, the lack of experience more so, I don't know if this team will be able to hold up compared to the rest of the teams, but I think it'll be okay. I mean, it's not a bad team at all. It's still a really good team. I just feel like with the lack of experience, potentially, unless I'm wrong, I feel like it could be a little bit tricky. Next up, though, is the orange team. So I'm just going to assume, if this is in order, that Ubby would have been the second overall pick. If it's not, my bad, I guess. I'm just assuming that's how it works because it makes sense, right? Either way, Shane picked Ubby, then Cloud, and then Union for his team. Of course, Ubby and Cloud, I feel like most people will be familiar with. Union, maybe not as much. Union is mostly known for Funny Wars, as far as I'm aware. A pretty good player. Did play in a CT, and I don't recall, unless I'm wrong, I think Union played in a CT, and I don't think they did super well, but maybe they did. I don't know. Regardless, this should be an insanely good team, of course. Shane and Ubby teamed recently in Origins and absolutely dominated. Of course, Origins is a little different than PB, but PB is more up Ubby's like alley, so I think they'll do pretty well. Cloud, I think, will actually be pretty good as well here. I think Cloud in Origins hasn't been doing the like hottest, but I think in PB had a pretty good streak, so should be interesting to see how that goes. And then Union, also brand new player, obviously should be pretty good at PvP, I assume, if I had to guess. If not, movement, question mark? Probably should be good regardless, but yeah, pretty interesting. Anyways, next up, you have the yellow team, which consists of Sandwich Lord, CGQ, Nair, and Morgan. Now, this is, I'm assuming, again, Sandwich Lord picked CGQ first, then Nair, then Morgan. Pretty interesting, cohesive team, I would say. But CGQ is a really good player, of course. So excited to see how they will perform. Nair, I thought, was like an insane player, but apparently hasn't had the best track record in PB. So maybe he'll lock in. I don't know. And then Morgan is a different beast in PB. This is kind of his event. He does very much enjoy PB. I feel like he'll do pretty well here. But yeah, it should be a pretty interesting team. They got movement on lock, of course. They should have PvP on lock pretty well too. I actually don't know why Nair would have had a bad performance in PB, because isn't Nair good at both movement and PvP? Maybe it's the other games. I don't know. We'll see how this team does in like what's it called? Trials of Fire. We'll see. Either way, a very interesting, solid yellow team, of course. All of these are going to be good, so I don't even have to talk about like how good the team is, because I feel like they're just obviously all good. Next up, you have the green team, which is led by Toph and has as draft picks Moist, Nons, and Duzim. Dutch rep W. Either way. Yeah, Moist being Toph's first pick, not super surprising. Obviously, they go way back, and Moist is a very talented Minecraft player. Not sure if Moist has played PB. Maybe. Sorry. Maybe they have. Also might be a Genesis player, might be a tester. I don't remember. I guess if they're a tester, they probably wouldn't have been allowed to be picked, but whatever. Very good player regardless. Nons is like an insane movement player. And Duzum also, I think, mostly known nowadays from Funny Wars, if I'm correct. It's either Funny Wars or Hoplite, as far as I recall. Not really sure what Duzum's very good at. I assume also PvP. But, yeah. I mean, people are saying, here, Duzum last pick. Like, this could be insane. Could be an insane team overall. Next up, we have the Aqua team, which I think is being considered the best. But it also just has Kel, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's considered the best. Led by Kel Awesome, of course. Picked Infume first, then Solar, or Ball 69, and then Craft Clan as the final pick. Of course, this team is pretty well rounded, I would say. Kel being, I mean, probably just the best Minecraft player. Then you have Infume, who has been, rising up recently in terms of the ranks of Minecraft events. Not a 100% good track record, but the one event he didn't do well in is Origins, or Block Wars rather. And I think he did well in Origins, but I don't think Block Wars was like his strongest suit. And like, Block Wars doesn't have the most mechanical games. PB is much more mechanical, so I think that should be fine as well. Solar has only really been, I think, a Origins player. Maybe they've played other events. I don't know, but curious to see how their skill set will apply to other events. I haven't seen Solar play, so it should be interesting. And then you have Craft Clan, of course, rounding the team out here. Very good player. I feel like often overlooked, so it should be interesting to see how they will do as well. Next up, you have the blue team, led by Feinberg, of course. This is always pretty much going to be a full speedrunning team, of course, right? Like, duh. However, of course, yeah, so Feinberg is the lead teammate here, with Hax being his first pick. Then, is it Rox? I don't know. Rox, Rox, I don't know, being the third pick, and then Emerald, or Nem, as the last pick here. This team is similar to Red, like, lacking in experience, of course, Feinberg being their only, like, previous PB player. However, I think this will be quite an interesting one. Hax is like a mechanical demon, has shown it in speedrunning, but also has played in events in the past where that skill has been shown. Did have a very unfortunate CT last time, but that was pretty much entirely due to lag and being unable to play the game properly, and then just having a loss of momentum, of course, at that point. Rox is one of the, like, in the Feinberg Block Wars, this was one of the most terrifying players with the amount of preparation they did. I'm assuming the same happens again here. They're probably going to put their whole effort into learning PB, studying as much as possible, and getting prepped, which alongside Feinberg is going to be very, very scary. And then you have Emerald or Nem. I actually don't remember how good Emerald is, because they were very frequent in, like, the what's it called? The Cloud Fuel, like, Twitch Rivals Minecraft events back in the day, from like 2022 to 2023, I think, in the beginning as well, when those were very prominent, and they did really well. Like, these speedrunning teams held up quite nicely, consistently. I don't know if Emerald did well in other events, but, excuse me, of course, combined with this team should be a very scary team, so hell yeah. Very, very good team. Then you have Purple, which is led by Kalen, who picked Greninja first, I assume? Are my eyes deceiving me? And then Kaj, and then Cammy B. I feel like these two were mostly uncontested picks, generally considering... Actually, no, Soul might have picked them. But very good picks. Like, these are insane sneaks. But Stu being your first pick, assuming this is in order, which I don't know if it is a choice. But either way, should be a really solid team. Of course, Kalen has movement on lock. Stu has PvP pretty much on lock. Kaj, I assume, is well-rounded, but also feels more like a movement main. Cammy, I feel like, is also more of a movement player, but might also be a PvP lock. Who knows? Very good team, probably. We'll see how they do. And then finally, you have the pink team, which is led by Fruitberries, picking Purpled, Carter, and Ant Frost. I assume this isn't in order? Because I feel like Ant would have surely been picked earlier if he was available later, unless Purple just got to pick like the rest like way sooner. I don't really know how that works. But Ant feels like an insane sneak for last, unless this is just not in order. I don't know. Maybe I've been trolling my comms, and maybe this wasn't in order at all. Either way, Fruit, Purpled, Ant Frost, of course, 3 of the 5 best MCC players we have ever seen, pretty much, or at least active right now. 3 of the 5 best, not just MCC players, but also just micro event players. And then Carter as the 4th here, or at least as the 2nd pick, a very good player. Does have ping, but that can be an advantage. And yeah, very good at movement, solid at PvP, very scary player for this event as well. Curious to see how this team will come together. Yeah, sorry. Should be a fun event, all things considered. So yeah, that is the team set for Pandora's Box Last Dance, which is just a fun name. It's not like the actual last PB ever or something like that. It's just like it's just like, hey, it sounds cool. Taking place on, actually, let me make sure that I know. I think it's November 23rd. Checking. Yes. Oh. Oops. November 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's when the event is. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.